You know, classic PlayStation had a lot of horror, and while some of it stood the test of time, like Resident Evil, and some are still going strong with a devoted fanbase like Silent Hill, some horror fell a little bit more to the wayside. Not necessarily forgotten, but dormant, let's say. Because today, I get to look at an awakened classic as I take a look at the Fatal Frame 2 remake. Now, truth be told, this series has always kind of passed me by. I was always aware of it and always was scared of it, like I was Silent Hill, but the difference is I never got to play this, so I'm extra excited to be tackling this one today. With that being said, let's not delay any more. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into Fatal Frame 2. We open up with some twins, Mio and Mayu, relaxing by a stream. Now, clearly there's some complicated emotions happening between the two of them, as throughout the opening, Mayu's leg is not only commented on, but we flash back twice to the day of the accident. Mio clearly still harbours a lot of guilt from that day, blaming herself for her sister's fall, and although Mayu says that she's okay and that everything is fine, I'm not entirely convinced that a part of her doesn't still blame Mio for the accident. Mio tries to apologise for it once again, but Mayu has already wandered off, following a crimson butterfly. Now here is where my intrigue, but also my biggest fault comes into play. So let's just get the negative part out the way first. The tutorials. From now to the very end of this video, my gameplay is going to be littered with nothing but tutorial pages popping up. And look, this is only going to be a small critique. I get that tutorials still need to be a thing, and there are some things in this game that even a seasoned gamer will have to have explained to them, but it just feels so excessive here, and they are complete immersion breakers for me. Which is such a shame because I have such high praise for the atmosphere and the locale that we would be getting into. However, I could just not fully immerse myself and appreciate all of that and all the creepiness because a 3-page must-read pop-up tutorial for like using an item or something would inevitably appear. That being said, I still can't deny the build-up that this prologue has, all starting with catching up with Mayu. Legend has it that long ago, this village disappeared on the day of a festival. And now, to this very day, anybody lost in the forest will feel the call of the lost village and feel compelled to find and enter it. And what a way to start our story. Okay, I am all on board for this. And if I wasn't already on board with the legend, this next scene would have won me over anyway.
I wonder if anyone's in there. Dunno.
Let's go together.
Mia? Coming.
Okay, first of all, I love the more subtle build up to the scares, because it plays with both the character and the player's perspective. As we first enter, we can clearly see a ghost apparition walking into this building that we are about to enter, and as the girls approach, we can even see the ghost through the window. But the girls never react to that, letting it be a scare that only we, the audience, are in on. To then flip that by having a hand on the shoulder part happen, where we think everything is fine until the ghost reveal happens and Mio reacts, letting us and the character react at the same scare. It is so perfectly done, and it is such an effective scare in my opinion. Now, inside the dilapidated house is as creepy as you would imagine. Also not helped by these visions that start plaguing both girls, showing an unknown woman that once entered this house, only to seemingly be met by a grisly end. Now, keep her in mind, because I think there's a really great payoff with that woman's story. First though, we start to explore, and I love the dread that is built up from this exploration. There's even a moment where Mayu comments that she feels like someone is watching them, which isn't the first time that this is stated, and although I looked around and never saw anything, I would not be shocked if another player did see something. A face hidden, someone walking past the window, a hidden figure watching from the top floor. It feels like that kind of dread. Soon enough, we come across the most famous aspect of this game, the very thing that really makes it stand out from its competitors, the camera obscura. This device will be our only weapon, a camera that not only allows you to now see ghosts, but to fight them by capturing the spirits on film. And we can see that in action right away, as when we try to leave the room, we are greeted with this. Again, such a fantastic scare here. This game really nails what can make a ghost so terrifying. They can appear from nowhere, walk through anything, mess with you and your sanity, and they can most definitely lay hands on you here. It's also what makes the camera such a scary to use weapon. Now, instead of just simply staying back and aiming a weapon, we are forced to face the horror head on and even allow it to get closer for a more effective picture. It would be like needing a zombie to be right in your face in the Resident Evil titles for you to be able to land a headshot on it. It's fantastic. Now, before I get into this next part, I want to build up to it a little first, because I do think it has an amazing payoff. You see, when we first enter this building, we can find a newspaper clipping about a young man, a geological surveyor, Masami Nakamura, who went missing many years ago. Now, remember the vision I mentioned earlier? The one with the woman who came here and met a grisly fate? Well, we can find throughout this building notebooks left by her. She travelled here searching for Nakamura, and I loved finding these notebooks. They start by giving a bit more detail on the lost village itself. As it turns out, the legend is that the village disappeared when the festival turned into a giant massacre, and now, when a lost person stumbles upon the village, or is lured here, they are doomed to forever be a part of the lost village's eternal massacre. The notebooks then go on further to start showing her slow descent into madness, starting with thinking people are watching her, hearing things, going crazy that the village never experiences daylight, so the darkness starts to get to her. All of this build up to get to this moment.
So, she got lost in this place too. She came in here looking for her boyfriend. And then, where did she go? This place must be...
Why?
Again, such a fantastic scare here. I love the finale of this book. Her giving up and simply just waiting until her boyfriend returns, for us to then turn through blank page after blank page after blank page until you finally get to that spine-chilling line, "He returned." It's incredible and leads into, I guess, our first boss fight, kind of. I mean, she is a tougher ghost than the first and does take a bit more to put her down, but other than that, the fight is the same. And once again, I cannot reiterate enough just how great a weapon of choice the camera is. The scares that these ghosts can now get on you, with the teleporting and the unpredictable speed whilst you're waiting for them to get closer before you can take that last minute picture, the tense wait for the camera to reload the next bit of film so you can defend yourself again. It's super unique and it is so terrifying. Once we beat Miyako, we have a small vision of Mayu once again following that crimson butterfly, and we awaken alone. And that is it. That is our prologue to Fatal Frame 2 and my first impressions, and I am really excited to continue playing this one. I find the ghost and the spiritual side of the horror to be a lot more better in the East than what we do over here. Their legends and occult I find to be a lot more interesting, so I am already excited for that. Not to mention just how scary the game is. If I do have a small gripe, it is the flip-flopping of the girls. They only seem to react and get scared in cutscenes and other very specific moments, but never really in the gameplay loop or the exploration. Rarely does that happen during that. Small nitpick, I know, but I think I've just been spoilt by how fantastic a realistic character I found Grace to be in Resident Evil 9 recently, so I would just love to have seen more here. Still, other than that, I highly recommend checking this one out. I'll be playing a lot more of it, and I think I need to revisit this series in my future. Thank you all for watching and for making it this far. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and to let the conversation carry on below. How are you finding this game? Are you even wanting to check it out yourselves? Do let me know. And until next time, take care.